here I am. I'm in Brampton in Huntingdon, I think it's Cambridgeshire, and I'm with Gladys Byrne. Now, this is an unusual interview because Gladys is the daughter of a skater who's sadly no longer with us, Jimmy Reed. Jimmy was one of the country's top speed skaters in the late 20s and early 30s, and Gladys knows a bit about this, and Gladys has written a book, but I'm going to talk to Gladys about her dad, and hopefully we can get a bit more information about him because we only know snippets of it. So Gladys, just for the record then, so Jimmy, when was he born?
1908.
1898, 1899. No.
1908.
1908. That's I'm deaf as well. So 1908.
12th of December.
Right. Oh, okay. So we're about a week away from So next year it'd be okay. Yeah. From my neck, 110. So it'd been 109 in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1908. So did he have a middle name?
No.
Okay.
No. My brother had the middle name. He was called James John, but Dad never.
Yeah, he never had a middle name.
No.
So he was born in 1908. And whereabouts? Do you know where he was born?
In Edmonton.
Okay. And so he stayed around that area as a kid then.
Yeah.
And what did he do for a job?
Well, when he was 6, he got his first job. That was when his father got killed and he had to go to work. He was 6. He's got up to the dairy at 6 o'clock in the morning with the horse and cart and the delivery man, and he used to run up and down all the doors and deliver the milk. When he came from school at night, he used to go up there and clean the horses out. That was when he was 6, because the army pensions and money and that was very poor. So he had help to support the 5 children younger than him.
Okay, so was he was the oldest?
He was the oldest, yeah.
Right.
And then Nan married again, and he was terrible. He drank all his money away. He used to knock him about and all that lot. And I think my dad was coming up about 12 now, and he started going to Alexandra Palace. And he spent more and more time there. The worse it got at home, the more he spent at Alexandra Palace. Well, he got a job in the building as a labourer, and when he used to come home at the end of the week, stepfather used to hold his hand out and take his wages off him and take it and gave him back what he thought. But anyway, he got the idea, so he kept some more money back, and he just more or less lived at Alexandra Palace.
Okay.
He got there every single time he got off. He was up there.
So his dad was killed in the First World War then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The Battle of the Somme.
Oh, is that what it was? In the Somme? Yeah, there was a lot there. Okay. So he would have only been. He was only been about 8 years old, you say, when his dad was killed.
When his dad died, I know that when his dad went in the army, he started work when he was 6 years old, and that was 1908, 1911, 12,
14. Yeah, so it'd have been 6.
Yeah.
And the Somme was.
And then, of course, as it went on.
Yeah. So they were about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So because of his stepdad then, so he really just couldn't stick around the house, couldn't stick it. So he used to go and spend his time up at Alexandra Palace. Yeah. And when you say up at the palace, so you mean actually skating at the palace?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So he never skated for any other clubs other than the palace then? No,
not until he went later years to Harringay Arena.
When he did the speedway stuff.
Yeah.
So when he skated for Palace, did he ever talk about his racing days and things, and about what did you know about him racing? I mean, how was it? How can I say? When did you start to realise that he was a champion speed skater?
Well, we used to go with him.
Okay.
And we used to present my sister and I. We used to present the bouquet of flowers to the person that was giving out the medals. Usually they had a lady with them in a fur coat.
Yeah.
And we used to. He used to take us to there and give the bouquet of flowers. I mean, I think I was 4 when I first remember doing it, because my sister had a better dress on than I did, so they took mine off and put hers on mine, me, and this red velvet dress. And her name was Flossie Buckingham.
Right.
I've tried looking to see who she was, but I do not know, but that was her name, Flossie Buckingham.
Yeah, okay. Buckingham or Beckenham or
Buckingham, like Buckingham Palace.
like Buckingham Palace. Flossy
And,
Buckingham. Okay.
And then after that, we used to go into his changing room, and they had beds under the benches, and that's where we used to sleep until he'd finished, so Mum could see the faces. But we was always up there with him, watching him.
So what year would that have been? What sort of years would that have been?
I was born in 33.
So 37.
About 37.
Okay, so
that's what I remember.
Yeah, and he was just coming to the end of his speed skating career then. So if you was born in 33, so he won his first British Championship in 1929. Okay, so between 1929 and his last one in 1937 that he won 11 in total. So if you were born in 33, so you were born right in the smack bang in the middle of when he was really good, when he was the man to beat, really. Okay, so but you remember going to watch him race?
Oh yeah, we always went and watched him race. As I say, they used to let us see the first part of it, then we had to sleep under the benches till it was time to go home. But it was that time, after my sister was born in 31, was when the slump all started, and he was out of work, and of course he had to go backwards and forwards to the means, on what they call the means test.
Yeah.
They used to come out and look at your house. You was allowed to have a table, a chair per person, something to cook on, and a bed. And that was about all you was allowed.
And it's like the Depression.
That was the Depression. And but he still kept his skating up. And then, because I came on the way, and things got tighter and tighter, and he sold, somewhere along the line there, he sold his roller skates for food.
So this is in the early 30s. This is when
I was
sold
born
them.
in 33, so this was, and Mum was, she was expecting me, so there was I was born in 32 because I was born in May.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because there was a year when his name doesn't appear in the record books. I forget what year it was, but it was around 34, 35, something like that. It was actually 1934.
Well, after I was born, he got work at Alexandra Palace as an attendant, as a floor attendant, and because that brought a little bit of money in. Then he got some other odd jobs, and he said that we would never. This is what Dad promised us: we'd never ever go without again, because they used to stay in bed every other day to save on fuel and food. And he said that he'd never, ever let us do that again. So he cycled from Wood Green down to Elsnham, near Stansted Airport.
Yes, yeah.
So asked his farmer if he could have a piece of land. And farmer said, why? Anyway, he told him that what happened, the hardships and all that lot. And he said, right, he said, I'll give you that 4.5 acres for so much money. Dad said, I haven't got any money. He said, right, he said, you pay me weekly. He said, you can have it and start work on it. So he cycled down there every Friday night, and he started building a house, and he used to cycle back Sunday night. Well, that went on until he got his walls, and he had 3 rooms, 1 big room, and then 2 bedrooms. The toilet was up the garden. It didn't have a bathroom or nothing. And once that was all livable, we came down from London, and he rented a place near there so that he could do work in the evenings. Most probably this is when he wasn't going to the rink. And while we were there, my brother was born, so he was born in 35. So between 33 and 35 is when he was building this house.
And that's why he doesn't feature, because I couldn't understand. He'd pretty much got medals every year, and he was always in the record books. And then 1934, he sort of disappeared for a bit, and I couldn't understand why that was.
But once he'd done it and we were living in the house, then he used to go up. Then he used to cycle up there more often than not. To Alexandra Palace from there, and he started going back into it again then. But that was one of the years when I say they bought building this house.
Land. So where was you living then? So in
Wood Green.
No, so you was living in Wood Green.
In Alexandra Road. Number 11, Alexandra Road.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. Okay, so you're living in Wood Green, and he used to go to the rink, but then he bought this bit of land. And you say, where was that then, you say?
Elsenham. Elsenham. Elsenham.
Okay.
And it's about 2 miles from Stansted Airport.
That's a jaunt, isn't it, from London, I suppose? It's cycling that all the way, to go and build a house. And is the house still there?
Yeah.
Is it?
His brother bought it.
Okay.
Off us, and his brother bought that one off of us, and we moved 2 doors down. But when I say 2 doors down, it was like a few hundred yards between.
Yeah.
We bought a bigger one and a better one that had a built-in bathroom and everything else, and it was bigger. And we to buy this house, there was land with it, so we got a bit more land. So and we sold our place.
Can I put this light on?
Oh yeah,
Is that one there? Right. Oh, okay.
That's it.
That's all right. There's a...
Yeah, so that was that year.
So what about you? Did your mum like to see him race? You know, was she was supportive of him racing, presumably, for the skating?
I don't remember she was very proud of him, but she
Yeah.
never said where you're going, what you're doing, what time you'll be home. I mean, women were women them days, they get their place. And
I wish that was still the same. No, I'm kidding.
but I mean, whatever he said was what went.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to move. We moved.
Yeah.
It wasn't, do you want to or anything. But she did get homesick when she was living down there. Because we had no inside toilet, no bath.
Yeah.
We should come from London where there was electric lights and gas. We had none of that.
Ah.
And anyway, we moved back and he rented our house out and we moved back to Wood Green in the same road as we left.
Okay.
And we was there then. I don't think we was only there about a year when the war broke out, and of course we was evacuated then.
Yeah.
But once the war broke out, they put him on firefighting.
So just to go back, so in the early 30s or the mid 30s, he built this house then in Elsenham, and he
He was building it. He was building it in when my brother was born. So he was building
35,
it in 34,
35.
He started it 34, 35. Yeah.
And so you've got what was his brother's name?
Well, one was Vic, one was Jack. I think it was Jack bought the house. Jack Reed.
Okay.
And there was Vic Reed, his brother.
Yeah.
And then there was Ethel Reed, which was his sister.
Right.
And then there was Alice, but she died in childbirth, in latter years.
Yeah.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them there was.
But none of them ever skated? Just your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, who was just...
I'm not sure if it was Vic or Jack. He was in charge, the television that was in Alexandra Palace?
Yes, yeah.
Well, he was in the hierarchy with that, in the television.
Okay.
But none of them ever skated.
He was just your
My brother was a motorcyclist and he used to go racing at Snetterton and everywhere. So his speed was in roller skating, in Speedway. But Dad was in skating.
So what how would you describe him? Would you say that he was like a driven man? I mean, because he was very successful. You know, was he successful like in life? Did you know what I mean?
He could have been a lot more if he'd have spoke to people and communicated, but he wouldn't. He'd always take the back seat.
Really?
He would never.
He was a quiet guy.
Very, very quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
And yet on the track he was like the man to beat.
Yeah.
He was like really.
Yeah. But as he said, man of few words.
Really.
Yeah.
You know, it really.
I mean,
really...
Mum used to say he could have done so much.
Yeah.
But he would never put himself forward. If anybody said to him, well done, he wouldn't take the glory of it.
And yet he found his feet with roller skating. He found something in there just to channel his energies.
Yeah, and when he was roller skating, it was never on roller skating. He was planning all the time. He was skating, planning what he was going to do when he got home or thing like that. It was never his mind on the job. I've got to get there. He just.
Right.
He done it because, as you say, for frustration more than anything else.
Yeah, it was an outlet for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, interestingly, so as I said, we're going back to like the 34, 35 era when his name didn't really appear, and you were saying he was building this house. That actually now makes sense as to why that was the case. But then in 1936, he comes back on the scene. It's like as if suddenly, and is that when you moved back?
That was when he came out of the army.
Okay.
And he wanted to go back, which he did. But as he was going, I think he was a trainer then. He didn't go back for medals. He was training, wasn't he? Training the others, wasn't he?
Well, no. In 36 is when he went to Stuttgart for the European Championships. When he won in
when
Germany.
When did the war break out?
39.
39, yes.
So 36, so he'd done 34, 35, sort of building the house.
Yeah.
1936 then, he sort of appears again back on the
that was when we moved back to London.
So he moved back to Wood Green, so now he suddenly appears again.
Yeah.
And he gets called up for Britain, for the very first ever British team to go to European Championships. And they go to Stuttgart in Germany, which is where that photograph is of that thing.
Black, yeah.
So he goes to Stuttgart, and I don't know, it was April, but it was in Stuttgart. But there was 8 distances at that championships. It was on the track. It was the first Europeans on the track, 1936. And there was 8 distances, and Great Britain won 7 of the 8, and your dad won 3 of the distances, and he won the longer distances. Actually, I think it was the 5,000, the 10,000, the 20,000. And he won the 3 distances, and he's still to this day the only person ever to win 3 gold medals at any one European or World Championships for Great Britain. So that's a fantastic story that you got there. But I've seen the plaque, but I know there was a story about it was Hitler who presented the medals.
Well, this is what he was there. I think somebody gave him the medal and he gave it to Dad. This is just what we has come through the channels. But, I mean, I've got no proof on it, so I don't know. How true it is.
I looked into this, so I looked into Stuttgart and the European Games. Now, I looked into Hitler's movements in 1936, believe it or not, in Stuttgart, and Hitler only visited Stuttgart twice, and one of those years wasn't 36 when the championships was on. So if he did, it's not recorded anywhere. But I can't find any record to say that actually Hitler was at those championships. But what a fantastic story that would have been. So but
I think it could be something like, that was when Hitler was there and that lot, because it gets misread. But I've got nothing, no proof or nothing.
Yeah, well, of course it would have been the Olympics, you see, in 36. You'd have had Berlin and the Olympics as well. That's round about that sort of time. So, which Hitler obviously was there, because that was when with Jesse Owens and all those sort of people. So, okay. So, do you know when he went to Germany, to Stuttgart, and he took part in those European Championships? Had he ever been abroad before then? Do you know, or was that his first time? Really?
No.
That was the first time he'd been abroad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was. And then the next time, I think it was when he went in the army.
Really? Did he ever talk about Stuttgart though? Did he ever say about his racing? Did he ever say did he ever think of it as a big thing that he'd been a European champion?
No, he wouldn't. I think the only time when I found, apart from what I remember, what I saw, when I left school, we didn't have transport, we had a horse and cart, and every Thursday we used to go to market. I'd take a couple of pigs in the back of the cart or whatever, and we used to go in there, and of course it was 8 miles to Bishop Stortford.
Yeah.
So the horse just plodded. So he'd sit there, and I'd say to him something, and then of course he'd tell you stories. So I was the only one out of my brother and sister that ever spent time with him.
Right.
But my brother couldn't care. Well, he was young. He couldn't care less. But my sister, they didn't get on. She was more like my mother, very ladylike. When I was tomboys, I was always with him, and of course he'd tell you all these stories and things like that. And of course I had to listen and ask questions, so this is how I got a lot of it. You know? And then of course in latter days, but after Dad died, Mum was still alive, she lived with us, and we used to talk about Dad, or she'd sit there and reminisce about things, and so I heard it all really. But
what did she think of his skating? I mean, so she was very proud, but
Oh, my gym. It was my gym.
Really?
My gym won that. My gym done it. Yeah, she was very, very proud of him.
Yeah.
It was a pity that he didn't put himself out a bit more, because he was very, very shy man.
Modest.
Yeah.
About his achievements.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you about his medals, but you said that you've got his medals, and I saw that snippets of paper and the photograph of his medals. Are then the only medals you've got? Is that the only ones you've got now?
Yeah.
So, and you say nobody else in the family is really that interested in his history, and what a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. I mean, just again, like I was talking earlier to you and your grandson, is that he was number 1 for Great Britain, and the reason for that is that when 1936 in Stuttgart, there was 3 guys who went: Reed, Ross and Wilkinson. Of course, numbers weren't dished out back then, so 3 guys who went, it was done in alphabetical order, and Jimmy Reed came before Bill Ross and Harold Wilkinson, so that's why your dad is got number 1. You didn't keep, you haven't got any of his race suits or his jumpers or anything like that?
They all went. He died in '92, so after Mum stayed down where we were, then she started. We realised then she was going into, she got senile dementia or what they call it, Alzheimer's. And we was going to America for 3 weeks, and I was taking her over to stay with her sister. And we go to Florida, then come back, pick her up and bring her back home. And my husband and I, because we had our own business, so we went up to Cadbury's chocolate factory, because we used to deal with them. So we was invited up there for the weekend, and we went. And when we come back, Mum wasn't there. So I went and asked the site manager where they were, where Mum was. Oh, he said a lady came down, he said, in a van and took her. So that's what was a lady like, because when he told me it was my sister. My sister hadn't seen her for 40 years.
Right.
Anyway, took her. And anyway, before she went, she sold the shed to the people up further. They paid her £50 for this shed, and they've got to take it down. So of course she took my mum back to Essex, and they took the shed, and everything that was there was left. Where I had all these, it was either black or navy with all this gold writing, you know, like wire writing on it. I mean. And then of course there was these trousers with these padded legs, all that, and it was
all ruined.
Yeah, all the maggots, you know, the earth and that, and the maggots had crawled over it, and was.
What a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Tell a lie, we came back and she'd gone, that was it. Then she said she wasn't going to America, so we went. So we was away 3 weeks, that was it. And when we come back after 3 weeks, and he had these big bags with these roller skates in it, and all the spare wheels and everything. And of course the zip had gone, and that was full of rain, wet and rain, and it all ruined. I mean, my husband was so upset that he just called in a chap to completely clear the site, which he did.
What a shame. What a shame.
Yeah.
So tell me the story about. So there was a period in the 30s with the Depression. He sold his skates. You're saying. Yeah. So what year would that? Would that have been the early 30s?
Well, he borrowed skate when he won this Rose Bowl down at wherever it was. He borrowed somebody's skates. He borrowed somebody's skates to win it, and then they realised he hadn't got any, and they clubbed together and bought him a pair.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So he'd had to sell his skates to make way.
Yeah.
How times would change, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We have to put your priorities.
Because he came, if you went to this place called the Dole Office, once you'd sold everything, they'd come to your house and check, right, you've got nothing you can sell, right, then you've got coal coupons, you've got food coupons, you could only go to designated shops to get this stuff, and it was the worst of the worst, really, but it was still it was expensive, and so you used to get coal coupons and food coupons and go back. Well, then he had to go to work. They sent him to, I think it was Hyde Park, I'm sure it was, and he had to walk from where he lived to Hyde Park. And when he got there, they gave him a cup of tea and a biscuit. Lunchtime, they gave him a sandwich and a cup of tea. Then he had to walk back because he had no money, and walk back. He didn't get paid. You had to do it because you was on the dole. Anyway, he'd done that for a few days, and he was so weak. He was in this park digging. He sat on this bench, and this man came along. He always called him a gentleman because he had a top hat and tails. So he must be one of the hierarchy up there. And anyway, he said to Dad, "What you doing, my man?" And Dad looked at him and burst into tears. Anyway, he said, "Whatever's the matter?" So of course he told him he'd got this pregnant wife at home. He's got to walk from there here for a sandwich and a cup of tea. But his wife gets nothing take home with him. And he said, and he's working there so many hours a day. I think it's about 5-6 hours a day he had to work, and then walk back home. And anyway, he just was sobbing, and this man cried with him. He said, "Don't worry, my son," he said, "you won't be doing this again." And when he went to check out, they was told not to come back. So whoever he was stopped it all. So he went home. Anyway, he still hadn't got anything. So he went down to the Dole office and said, "Could he have some food coupons and that lot?" And he said, "My wife's pregnant," and he said, and she needs nutrition. He said, "But if that's all you've got to do is sit at home and make babies," he said, "I suggest you go and find a job." But there wasn't any job, she couldn't get any. Anyway, he went home and Mum said, "You know, what happened?" And he said, "No, he wouldn't give her any." Well, them days, women didn't go to these places, but she got out and coat on and she said, "I'm going." No, he said, "You can't." "Yes, I'm going." So she went there, she got as far as the door, knocked on it, they opened the door and she passed out. Sat on the chair, gave her a cup of tea, and then asked her what the trouble was. So the same man said to my mum, well, your husband, he said, I don't think much your husband, he said, sending you in a state like this, he said, he should be here. She said, you just turned him away. Oh, he said, and of course she told the name and everything. And he gave her coal coupons and food coupons. He said, now you come back, you send your husband back here and we'll sort this out. And after that, when he went back, they gave me his coal and that without any arguments or anything. And then it was just, then of course I was born, and he went and won that Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl, yeah.
Even though I say with malnutrition, or whatever you call it.
It's still no money.
Yeah, and he won that. And then I say they offered him a job so many hours a week, controlling the crowd or whatever.
Right.
He used to wear a grey suit, no, grey trousers and a red jacket.
Yeah.
With a big emblem on here.
So controlling the crowd for what?
So roller skating.
At the Alexandra Palace.
Used to get packed.
Yeah.
And if anybody fell over, because everybody fall on top, wouldn't they? So you had to be there to hold the crowd back, to let that person get up and go on again.
So he actually works at the rink.
Yeah.
So he works at the rink.
Yeah.
So in 1937 then, so he won numerous times, and then 1938, just before the war, he disappears again off the face of the earth. And the reason I say that is because in 1938 at Wembley was the first World Championships, and
that wasn't when he went to.
So I think
it must have been then, because just before the war broke out and stopped us going.
So I think he went to roller speedway.
He went to Haringey.
So what was it about roller speedway that he liked?
The speed, I suppose.
Really? Yeah, and because it was a bit rough and tumble, wasn't it? A bit more physical.
I never ever remember my dad breaking a bone.
No?
No, never broke a bone.
No.
I think he broke his thumb winding up the tractor in his latter years when they used to kick back.
Yeah.
But never ever remember my dad
being injured from his skating. It was like, because as I said, it's in. I mean, I didn't know that roller speedway. I mean, it's called roller derby now, but I didn't know it existed back in them early days. Because even looking through the programme, people had got like nicknames and things, But your dad, when he was. Yeah, Bulldog. Oh, was that your dad's nickname?
But Jimmy Bulldog Reed, they called him.
Really?
Bulldog.
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 And that was his nickname for the roller speedway. Yeah, wow. So so he must have. So what was the story about you was going to go to the States? Then tell me that story.
Well, the Americans wanted him because he was so he'd gone over there and skated for them, most I assume.
Yeah.
And they wanted him, and they kept on at him. I remember him telling us like that we go. But I mean, it didn't mean anything to us. America didn't even know a country existed like. And anyway, they went ahead and they got the papers. And it was all going through nicely. And all of a sudden, he came home and he said that they'd sent all these teams back. And then, of course, there was talk of war, and then it came out. But that's where he was because that's where he was when war broke out. At
the Haringey.
We used to go, and I remember going, the time it was opening, and all these crowds to get in. But we used to go to a side door. But we had to go with these crowds. We got there, and then we had to go in the side door. And then, because these bank tracks.
Yeah.
And if we went there on a Saturday afternoon when he was practising, he used to let us have a go. Well, we said we couldn't get up the hill, let alone down the other.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you used to have humps in it in the track?
Oh, yeah, it used to go around like that.
Oh, really?
It was banked as well.
Yeah. Oh, it was a big old. So it was quite a technical track then.
Yeah.
I'm sure there must be some video footage somewhere.
There must be, because there's a I'll give you the catalogue.
Yeah.
He must be perhaps.
I'm sure, like on some of the news.
But he was the least person with the penalty box.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah. He got the least in Europe. I saw that he's got the least number of penalties.
Yeah. Because they had to sit in the middle on a chair when they'd done their penalties, like.
Yeah.
And but Dad didn't go in there very often.
So when war broke out, what did he do?
Well, when war broke out, they took him into the fire service.
Okay.
Straight away.
Okay.
And he went to the fire service and he had to do evenings, but which he done at Alexandra Palace fire watching.
Right.
But he was in the fire. He went into the fire. Well, they took him in the fire service because he was too old for the army.
Yeah,
he was Montgomery's last hope. They started calling when he was 36 years old. Yeah. Montgomery started calling out the 36s, which was him, and he had to go then.
Oh, did he go to? So he actually went.
Oh yeah, well, first of all, he was fire watching.
Yeah.
In London, we was evacuated, but he managed to get our house back. So we moved back from where we was evacuated to the house.
And that's in Wood Green.
No, they was in Wood Green then, but
Yeah.
we was evacuated from there. We went to Haverhill near Haverhill, Simple Bumstead near Haverhill.
Yeah.
We went there, and while he fought to get our house back, well,
Right.
eventually he got it back.
Yeah.
So they moved from Wood Green back to Elsnam, and then Mum and Dad got us back, and we lived there.
Right.
And when he got there, they took him. They gave him a lorry, and he had 25 German prisoners that he had to collect from this camp and take to a wood and make pit props. You know what pit props are?
They're
props that. And he had to take these Germans, and they had to make so many pit props a day. And Dad was in charge of these Germans, and he had another person with him. But Dad used to drive them there, do this, and then bring them back and put them back in their prison, where it was that they were camp. And then that was for a few months, and then that wood dried up, so they took them to another place quite a few miles away. So he had to collect these prisoners and take them to this woods for the pit props, and they lived in wooden shacks.
Right.
So Dad lived with them, but he never had no prisoner ever escaped while Dad had them. And anyway, see, the house wasn't finished. It was livable. We had 2 bedrooms and a big dining room lounge thing, but he wanted a bathroom, he wanted a running toilet and all that lot, and he wanted a thing put on, another kitchen and a kitchen put on. Anyway, he asked permission if he could have 2 of these prisoners for weekends. So he's supposed to collect them, but he used to leave them at our house on the way back past, take the other prisoners back, and then.
And this is Elsnam.
Yeah.
So it was under construction for some years then. The house.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think it was quite finished when we left. He just kept building bits on it, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And so he got these 2 German prisoners, and they used to come home and live with it. They was lovely. They were Hans and Fritz, and
oh, you remember them?
Yeah.
Hans and Fritz.
Hans and Fritz, and bring them home, and they used to do all the donkey work, and Dad used to do all the plumbing and the part and all that lot. And they built this bathroom, and then we had a plank on the end with a copper, and then you had to. I don't know how they heated this copper. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We had it on a gas. That was on a primus thing. When the water was warm enough, you just undone it and it went into the bath. Anyway, because I dug the trench for the toilets when I was about 15. But Hans and them came, and they used to help with because he had a small farm as well. Not much on it now because we couldn't cope. But we had goats and chickens that he didn't look after much. So them 2 chaps came, and then he went from there. Then he was called up, so he handed his prisoners back, and he had to go in the army.
And where did he go?
Germany.
Right, he actually went to Germany.
No, he didn't. He went to Holland.
Right.
Holland. Nijmegen in Holland.
Okay.
And in that book, there's a very interesting piece about that. He went to Nijmegen in Holland. From there, he went to Rouen in France.
Oh yeah, I know Rouen.
And. No, I think that's what he was demobbed from there, or he came home and got demobbed from there. So
45,
spent his time there.
So after the war, did he go back to skating? Did he have a race, or did he coach the kids?
He went back after the war.
Yeah. But
because when we got back, when he was taken in the army, well before that even, the government took his land off him.
Oh really?
Yeah, they confiscated all land because he wasn't a big farmer. They took his land, so we only had like the paddock and little pieces, but the farmers took the rest. And then when he came out of the army, he had to fight to get it back, and they wouldn't let him have it.
So he never had it back.
He did eventually, but he finished up going to the House of Parliament, I think, and he was going to flatten a few people. I mean, he had a temper.
Really?
When if anybody put him out,
you
know, he'd stand his ground.
Yeah.
But when it was something that he was fighting for, but not to push himself forward.
He'd stick up for something.
Yeah.
If he got principles, he'd stick up for something.
Yeah, and anyway, they gave him his land back, and he bought a cow and a horse. That's when we started off with our horse and cart. But he did go back, but I think it was only as a trainer.
Yeah.
I think he was training them.
Because I know that.
I don't think he ever went because he put on a lot of weight, and of course he was out of.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because people like Bobby Alford talk fondly of him, like because they were known as Jimmy Reed's boys. You've seen the photograph of them all at the Alexandra Palace rink with the hats and stuff.
Yes,
and I know Bobby Alford talks about Jimmy Reed's boys. There's people like Frank Best and and Len Trail and all these sort of guys, and so yeah, it's interesting to know, and the thing that he coached them. And because Bobby Alford went on to he was never a British champion, but he went on to win medals at British Championships, and he also won. He also went and raced for Great Britain in the sort of late 40s as well. So so your dad obviously made a mark on the youngsters.
Yeah.
So did he used to go and watch races though as well? So like after the war, when he was skating, he must have. I suppose if he was coaching.
Well, I suppose if he was up there coaching them, he would go and watch them too. But for some unknown reason, I don't know a lot about that part of it. He never said much about it, but I know he used to go up there a lot. You
never used to go with him at that point?
Yeah, when I was for my 21st birthday, he bought me a pair of white buckskin boots and roller skates. And he used to take, and then I, because got married, moved to London, and then I used to go. They used to meet me at. My husband and I meet us at the rink, and we used to have Saturday nights up there.
Okay.
And that was when I was I 20? No, it was my 21st birthday when he bought me the boots and skates. That was the first pair I ever had. I used to borrow my mum's before that because she had boots and skates. And funny enough, I kept it up because they had a rink at Cambridge, the Corn Exchange.
Okay.
And I used to take my two sons every Saturday and Sunday. I take my son for quite a few years, and both my sons, I think one was 4 and one was 6 at the time. They was both learning to dance, but then it closed down, and so that was as far as we got with them. They never took it up after that. But I skated right up until. Carlisle, I live down in Newquay now, and Carlisle Bay had a roller rink, and Dad and Mum and my husband and I used to go there and skate on a Saturday, and he got sent off the rink because he complained. It was so slippery. These youngsters kept putting something down or going in the changing rooms and wetting their skates and going, and it was dangerous. And he complained, and they told us not to come back anymore. they barred him.
Did he say, "Don't you know who I am"?
No, he wouldn't have said that. We tried telling them that it was dangerous, but they weren't taking any notice.
So you got the war years out the way. So what did he do after the war? So what did he do for work after the war?
He had the farm. Once he got his land back, we finished up with 250 pigs.
Oh, okay. So he became a farmer, a proper farmer.
And of course we had this dairy herd, but we had to be a TT accredited TT. It had to be a TB tested and accredited herd. So you had to have the best. So there was all the best ones.
Right.
And we send our milk to the dairy farmers and that. I never milked the cows. I didn't like them, and they didn't like me. My brother used to milk with my mum and dad, but I looked after the pigs.
So where was the farm? Did he buy a farm or?
Well, he bought this 4.5 acres of land, what he built his house on.
Yes.
And then he bought another strip, 3.5 acres down one side of it. Yeah. And then he built another he purchased off the farmer. Yeah. Because the farmers, they were very good to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Any machinery they loaned him,
Really?
And then he bought another piece around here. And then he got there was 2 big fields down on the other side of the railway line that he bought. So he finished up with about 65 acres, but it wasn't really enough.
Yeah.
He was one of these people that he wanted everything big.
Yeah,
so he wanted farm where he could get the tractor there and spend all day ploughing and that lot.
Yeah.
So that was when he moved down to Devon.
Right, okay. And did he continue farming down in Devon?
Yeah, he farmed up until just before my last son was born. And he collapsed and was taken into hospital. They found out he'd only got 1 kidney. The other one was hanging on a piece of string. But he'd got 1 kidney, and his heart was in such a terrible state.
Right.
Because Dad there was nothing he couldn't lift.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't. He'd lift it and couldn't strain himself. Well, anyway, they said putting a pair of Wellington boots on and walking across the muddy field would kill him. So the farm went under the hammer. And everything was sold out, and he moved to Tintagel and bought a hotel.
Really?
And he was the chef. He spent all these Danish pastries, all that lot. He was the chef, Mum was the housekeeper, come waitress, come everything else. And they had this 8-room hotel, and he wouldn't employ any staff, so they used to do it between them. And he had that right up until, when he retired. God, when did he retire?
So
And then when he did,
mid-70s maybe. He'd have been 65 in sort of like the early 70s, wouldn't he? So
I was trying to think. We came down in 63.
Yeah.
We had 10 years at Tintagel, 73.
Yeah.
And we moved from Tintagel into Bodmin, and we was there 5 years, 73, 78, and then we moved to Mitchell, 78, 79. No, he was about eight.
So he then retired
1980 or something.
Well, so he'd have been nearly 80 before he retired.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So he kept going then for a while.
Yeah, because when he went to my sister's, he was there 2 years, and he was in the mobile home 2 years, and then he died, and he died at 82.
Right.
So he didn't. 78. He must have retired at 78.
Right. Wow. So what do you think if he was sat here now? If he was sat there and I'm talking to him, how do you think he would have felt about being interviewed?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know. He was on In Town Tonight on the BBC.
Was he?
Yeah, because I remember listening to it. He'd been somewhere and he'd out the country, unless it was when he came back from the Stuttgart.
From Germany.
Yeah, and
what was it called? In the Town Tonight.
In Town Tonight.
In Town Tonight.
You got these celebrities, and and he was on there talking on BBC.
Right. Was that the radio or telly or?
No. Oh no, radio. It was an accumulator. Before we could get him, I had the sandpaper and put this accumulator down.
In Town Tonight.
In Town Tonight.
Oh, I'll make a note of that. I'll see if I can.
It was at 6 o'clock at night, every night.
Right. Interesting.
And he was on that.
Okay. So he was on that. So obviously he was recognised somewhere along the line as having done something.
If he met another farmer,
yeah.
He'd pick his brains and ask him all kinds of things and have a good conversation with him.
Yeah.
But if anybody came to the house, conversation wasn't...
he struggled to get conversation.
Yeah, because it wasn't of interest, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
it's got to be something that he needed to know or do.
But did he love talking about his skating?
No.
Really?
No.
Really? He just wasn't...
It's only when you asked him questions and he'd tell you, and Mum would tell you a lot.
Yeah.
But no, he never... That's why nobody picked up on it, because he never mentioned
and yet such a fantastic skating career, such a superstar of sport, really, in them days. And yet never really picked up on it.
No.
Wow. So when did he pass away?
On my son's birthday, 18th of February.
Right.
Yeah, it's in the back of that book. 18th of February on my son's birthday.
Okay. What year would that have been? 90? 90 or 92?
Well, Mum died in 2000, so he must have died in 90.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because she died. She lived
February 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. That's what I've got in the book.
Yeah, February 1990.
And then Mum died in 2000, 10 years later.
Yeah.
But he died of pneumonia. He was taken bad, and we rang the doctor at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he came round. They sent for an ambulance. They couldn't get one there because they were so busy for some unknown reason. And then the ambulance crashed on the way out, so they had to go and find another one. The ambulance got there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
Because one crash, one was in an accident and all that lot. I don't know whether the weather was bad, I'm not sure, but I know we sat with him.
It could have been.
And then they took him into hospital, and he was in there all 2 or 3 days. And we was in there this night, and he kept saying to my mum, "Oh, Olive, my back, it's my back." And my husband and I sat there, my mum was standing behind him, massaging his back.
Yeah.
And the sister came on, she said, "Mrs. Reed, please leave him alone." She said, "Let him rest, but if you leave him alone," she said. Anyway, we sat back, and then she said, "I think it's time you went, you're tiring him out."
Yeah.
But all the time we was there, it was the war was on, and that man that was causing all the trouble, Ayatollah, no.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, Saddam Hussein.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was on about him and told and saying what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And his brain was spot on.
Spot on.
And my husband was agreeing with him, and we was talking to him. Anyway, she said we've got to go. And anyway, that was on the Saturday night, and on the Sunday morning, I remember my daughter and her husband were coming over, and the other son and his wife were coming over, and I'd done this massive great big tray of lamb chops and the onions and all that lot, put it all in the oven, and my husband had just gone round to pick up Mum. We was going to come back, have an early dinner and go up and see Dad. He just left home to go and see Mum, and I got a telephone call. Mrs. Byrne suggested, I've just run to tell you your father has passed away this morning. Because I had an angina attack. It's the first one I've had.
Oh, really?
My husband come back, I'm in the chair like this thinking, well, whatever's happened. And they took me in to the hospital where he was, and kept me in then overnight with this angina attack. But it was such a shock, because when we left him, he was right, but he died of pneumonia, so the death certificate said. Yeah.
So he never, so really then, after the war, although he was coaching people at Alexandra Palace, really when he moved from Alsnham down to Devon way, I suppose he never really went back to the rink after that.
No. Well, we went to that, this one, I don't know if you might remember it, this one here. He was invited up to Alexandra Palace for Christmas do.
Can we see that? Is that? Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah. Okay.
For a Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
A Christmas ball night, Alexandra Ball. Anyway, it was held at a hotel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where, but on the back I put the date because it was the date that my daughter's.
1974.
Yeah, that was my niece had her baby the day that we arrived. And we went out that night, so I know the year.
Yeah, I don't know who the other people are.
Yeah, there's that's my sister.
Oh, okay, yes.
That's my dad, my mum.
Yeah.
That's Dad's brother's wife, but he died. And that's my husband and myself.
Oh, okay.
That's the shape I was them days.
Oh, right. Wow. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah, and that was the last do he ever went to at Alexandra Palace.
With the clubs. That's 1974.
Yeah.
So did he ever keep in touch with any of the skaters?
Only Millie.
Millie.
And then when we moved, Millie Carter.
Millie Carter, that's the one who paralysed.
And when we moved, I've got an idea she died. I'm sure she did before we moved. And I'm positive she did.
Yeah.
That was the only one he ever did keep in touch with.
Right, but she was his partner for the Speedway.
For the
Yeah, and then she but she became she fell and broke her.
And he went with Ida Sash.
And Ida Sash.
I don't know what nationality Ida Sash was. She sounds American.
I don't know, but she used to race as well for Palace, like in the later on in the 40s and in the 50s. She, in actual fact, I've got this idea that she went and raced in her later years for Broadway with and the Broadway team.
Oh yeah.
And she raced like with the likes of
Broadway.
Yeah.
Dad used to race there, I'm sure.
Yes, Cricklewood.
Cricklewood, yes. Cricklewood,
yes, he did.
Broadway.
So he would have raced at Cricklewood because that's where Harold Wilkinson raced. He raced for the Broadway club. He originally raced for Brixton, I think, because there was a rink at Brixton. Yeah. There was a rink at Brixton. There was a rink at Cricklewood, and there was the Alexandra Palace rink, and the three clubs, around that time. Because there was like the rink down in Rochester.
Yeah.
There was the casino, Rochester. There was Herne Bay, which is on the pier.
He got medals for figure skating as well.
Oh, your father?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
But they're not actual. I think they're like when you start figure skating, you pass a test.
Like tests, yeah. You get a medal. Not competition medals, but
he didn't like it. It was too feminine. Yeah. He didn't want to pose for anything. He weren't that kind, but he had to do it for something.
Yes. Yeah.
And see dancing on skate, wonderful dance on skates.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people was in them days. A lot of people did both.
Yeah. He could take my mum round, and he got his arm round her, so if she stumbled or anything, it didn't make any difference because his feet was on the floor.
Yeah.
He didn't. And even when we was kids, he used to put his roller skates on, because we had this massive great big room with lino, and he used to race around around this room.
Yeah.
And he'd do the splits.
Really?
Right out, and then he'd get his trousers and pull himself back up, you know, like a clown. Yeah, he used to...
He was really clever on his skates, and he was really, agile.
A bit like Torval and Dean. Their skates belonged to their body, and that was just like
him.
Yeah.
Wow. And yet he was, as you say, he never really...
And yet he was quite a thick-set man.
Yeah, quite a stocky guy. Well, you can see from his square jaw, and you know, and I suppose being a farmer, you can't be a small guy. You know, you got to put your back into it.
Yeah.
You must be. Well, it's a real fantastic insight into Jimmy. Like you say, like there's so many gaps that I've had about his life story, and I'm really, I'm really grateful that you could fill some of those gaps in. And if it's all right with you, I'm going to update the website with just a few snippets as well about his life. If you're all right with that, I'll do that. So.
Well, I had this big write-up on my computer. I'm not very good at computers. But anyway, I managed to get it up and I got it on there. And I've got one or two other bits on there. My son and my put photographs on it. And then the other week my internet went down. So I rang up and told them. They said, well, send somebody out for the poll or whatever it is. Anyway, about half an hour later I got this phone call saying that it's my computer, it's not the poll, it's my computer. Plug my computer in, open it up. And I said, why? They said, because it's your computer that's doing it. Well, being silly, I put me things in, open the computer up, and then do this and do that, and then they took over. And I said, what's this costing me? Nothing. We're trying to get rid of all this diseases in it, whatever you call it,
the viruses,
and all that lot. And I said, hang on, I'm going to get my grandson. No, you don't need your grandson, it's your computer. We've got the things now, we're doing it, it's nearly finished. And anyway, it was rolling round and everything else like that. And I was on the phone 3/4 of an hour, and the girl she was Indian that was talking to me, got quite frustrated with me, and I've got quite frustrated with her, and in the end it was like a slanging match. But she said, it's got to be done because you're ruining other people's computers. And I said, how come my computer's not? I said, in any case, I've only got games on it, I've got nothing, my bank details and nothing are not on it. So anyway, she had it, so I put your boss on the phone. So he came on the phone, another Indian, and then he went, I held the phone there, and he was shouting for about a quarter of an hour. Then I shouted down, shut up! I said, let me talk, I'm the customer. He said, if you like to put your bank details on here, it's £1 per month for 2 years, or £2 a month for 5 years, it's insurance. I said, well, take it off my internet bill. No, he said, it's your separate. I said, no, you told me in the conversation, this is to do with the internet, it's not working. So no, we can't. He said, right, as from now, your computer is US. And he's completely blanked my computer out.
So you haven't got a computer?
Well, I gave it to my grandson who works in the mobile phone shop, and he put it back to factory model. But so I've lost everything on it. And I'm not too bright on computers, but all my kids are, so I should get them to put it back on for me. But this happened just before I came up here, so I've not had time yet to have a look at it. But I never thought I would be scammed. But I never gave me bank details, but nothing on it anyway.
That's right. Well, as I said, that's been a real good insight into your dad and yourself and the life that he led as well, not just his skating. So I really appreciate that. I mean, is there any questions you got for me, or but otherwise, well, wrap it there, I think.
Yeah, not really. I think you've told me anything that I should know, and I've got a nice computer CD I can watch there.
What's that? Yeah.
DVD.
Yeah. Well, Gladys, I just want to say thanks very much, and thanks for letting me interview you. And it's been I've really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you for bringing up all the past.
No worries. All right. Cheers.